Hello, welcome to this video. In this video, I am going to show how to split the data from single worksheet to multiple worksheets and workbooks by using VBA macros. To accomplish this task, here I created a template. Let me explain about the functionality of this template. As part of this process, first I created a folder on my desktop. In that folder, I placed this coding workbook. In sheet 2, we can find some data. First row represents headers from header 1 to header 8. From second row onwards, we can find the data. So I want to segregate the content which exists in sheet 2 in multiple workbooks as well as worksheets. So my criteria is I am going to split the data based on the data exists in column 8. Here we can find book 1, book 2, book 3 and book 4. So I am going to split the data into 4 workbooks based on the name exists in column H. Let me execute the program. Click on split the data button. Now user form displayed on the screen. This user form consists of one list box and 2 check boxes, 1 combo box. Here we can find all the headers are added to the list box from header 1 to header 8. User can select the headers based on the requirement. So here I have selected 4 headers 1, 3, 5, 7. Next, here I am selecting the check boxes, add workbook and add worksheet. Means I am going to segregate the data into multiple workbooks as well as worksheets. Now click on combo box. This combo box also consists of header names from 1 to 8. As part of my program, I am going to split the data based on the header 8. Here I am selecting the same. After completion of the selection process, click on export data.
VBA process completed.
So at the end, application returned message box as process completed. Click on OK. Here we can find book 1, book 2, book 3, book 4. Let me cross check in that folder. Here application created a folder with the current time. In that folder, application added 4 workbooks, book 1 to book 4. Let me open that one. This is the book 1. This is the book 4. So whatever the headers I chose in list box, application copies the same content from input workbook to output workbook. Now I am going to delete the existing worksheets other than introduction and sheet 2. So click on delete existing sheets.
VBA deleted the sheets.
Now application deleted newly created sheets. Main feature of this template is dynamism. Currently I considered column H as split column Now I want to provide the segregation based on column number 5, header 5. Click on split the data button. Here I selected 4 headers, 2, 4, 5, 8. Here I am choosing header 5. Click on export data.
VBA process completed.
Application copied the data which exists under the headers of 2, 4, 5, 8. Here application created 3 workbooks which is named as apple, banana, orange. We can find the headers also 2, 4, 5, 8. So main feature of this template is we can segregate the data based on the any column which exists in this content. Now let me explain the coding part. Click on developer tab. Click on Visual Basic. As part of this process, first I created a user form. Next, I declared 2 public variables. First one is for input workbook and second one is for input worksheet. Thereafter, I mentioned screen updating and display alerts as false, which are properties of application object. Next, I defined input worksheet. First, I declared a variable for active workbook. Thereafter, I considered sheet 2 as input worksheet. Next, I mentioned as userform 1.show. Here I am using initialize event of the user form. The purpose of this event is it adds the data to the list box and the combo box before displaying this user form on the screen. So first I defined last column. Here we can find last column and last row functions. Next, it clears existing data if any exists in list box 1 and combo box 1. Thereafter, here I am using for loop. Min value of the loop is 1 and max value is last column. Thereafter, by using this for loop, I am adding the data to the list box and combo box of the user form. After completion of the selection in user form, the moment when the user clicked on export data button, application executes this piece of code. Here I declared 2 public variables. First one is output workbook, second one is output worksheet. First identified the last column. Thereafter, here I am using for loop. The purpose of for loop is to identify the header column number which is selected in combo box 1. So that column number I stored in split column number variable. Here I am using 2 if conditions. If the user selected checkbox 1, then application going to execute this piece of code. In that code, I declared a variable which is named as in new workbook. In new workbook equivalent to S. Next, I have instructed the application to create the workbook with single worksheet. Next, I declared a variable dim time value as string. Time value equivalent to Here I am using format function. I have formatted the output of now function in the form of year, month, date, hours, minutes and second. Next I am using makedir function. Through this function I am creating a folder where this coding workbook has copied by the user. Next I saved the folder path in the variable of path name. Here I am using one more if condition. If the user selected checkbox 2 also, then I considered in new workbook equivalent to yes. Thereafter I am unloading the user form. Next I define the last row. This one is dynamic. Currently we have 10 rows of data. So this data is dynamic. Before executing the macro, user can add more number of rows and columns. Next, I extracted the unique values from the split column and copied after the last column of the data. Here I am using one more for loop. By using this for loop, I am hiding the unselected columns of the list box. After that, I am looping all the rows of data. Loop starts from second row and max value of the loop is I defined dynamically by considering end Excel down property. Here I am using auto filter. Criteria of the auto filter is unique data of the split column. Next I am using two if conditions here. If in new workbook equivalent to yes, then I am adding the workbook. Thereafter I am copying the data after applying the auto filter by considering the special cells method of user range object. Here I am considering only visible cells. I am pasting the copied content in the newly created worksheet from the range A1 onwards. Next I am applying the auto fit. Next I am saving the workbook. Thereafter I am closing the newly created workbook. Next, if in new worksheet equivalent to yes, then application going to add the worksheet after the sheets count. Next pasting the data. Next providing the sheet name. Thereafter applying the auto fit. Removing the auto filter. Thereafter unhiding all the columns. Clearing the unwanted data which exists in the last column. And this is about confirmation message as process completed. So in this way we can segregate the data by using this template. I hope this template is useful to everyone. Thanks for watching.